Good evening. I think I've still. Oh, now I know what it is. Apologies. I could hear the music still, and then I realised I've got it on my phone on a delay. So I was like, 1 second, the music's finished. Oh dear, crikey, technology. I'm back again. Good evening, welcome everybody. Sorry about the 5 minute delay. That was because my internet was rubbish. And my wife was using the Wi-Fi, so all told off and all ready to go. As you can see to my left, is it my left or your left? Yeah, whatever. George Jones. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing this evening, Stu?
I'm right. I'm right now that I'm running. I'm understanding technology, and of course to my other side because I can't work out if it's left or right is Robbie Voice. Hello, mate.
How's it going, mate? You good?
I'm good. I'm good now. I know we're live. Do you know what? That video, I don't know if you were paying too much attention, but you know when it goes, you know when the teams come in at the end, I swear they say Bolton at the same time Bolton comes in.
Can't say I paid that much attention to the stream. Next time.
Shocking.
Well, I mean, Mark put so much care and attention to details in the videos. I'm pretty sure he would have timed that deliberately.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So, Mark, let me know, mate. Let me know. I know you'll be watching at some point. I swear they say Bolton. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just hearing things. But yes, that's that. Cool. So, good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. Packed agenda today. I don't know how we're going to stick to an hour timing. That's going to be challenging. But we've got what we've got. So we've got pre-season so far. Got quite a few games, obviously, since obviously training's finished and stuff like that. We're going to go look at games to come. Going to talk about Matthew Cox going to the Brentford B team. Obviously, having a look potentially at how do we keep our young goalkeepers. That's the third or fourth that we've lost. Say lost, but probably in a better position than that. And then we're going to look at the squad for the season, and then we're going to look at Scunthorpe test event, which is sold out. I'm in shock because I've been openly vocal that I thought we were going to struggle to get 4,000. And let's be fair, we haven't got 4,000 yet. They're not sitting there waiting, are they? Do you know what I mean? We're gonna have to hope they turn up. But Rob, are you surprised at that?
I'm the same as you, Stu. I was in agreeing with you that I thought we'd struggle to get 4,000, and that we'd be kidnapping people off the street and bringing them into the stadium. So like yourself, Stu, I'm going to have to eat a bit of humble pie on this one. I thought we might need and this is no disrespect to Scunthorpe, but I thought we might need a bigger opponent, a Premier League opposition or something, bring a local club down like such as Fulham or Crystal Palace. So I'm amazed we sold out for this game, and I'm quite lucky because I bought my season ticket last week, and whilst I was doing it, I was like, oh, you know what, I'll get my Scunthorpe tickets now, and I'm glad I did, because if I put it off any longer, I would have been, on the Facebook groups or something, wondering if I could get a spare from somewhere.
Well, yeah, I was chatting to Sam, who I know obviously from Oldie, and I was chatting to him at Hampton Richmond. He was saying that he would just wait till Monday, and I saw on Facebook today that he's obviously he's now begging for it. And I hope someone that people were saying this in jest, but there was assumptions that people were selling tickets for the Scunthorpe game on the sort of the black market. George, have you heard anything about that? Are you selling them?
I'm personally not selling mine, no. But I think you'd have to make an awfully massive bid to get mine. But I do think there are posts on that. Yeah, about that. That's about market value for our tickets nowadays. but I think you're in a position where you do look on those Facebook groups, and there are people. I mean, whether they mean they're giving them away, but I think it's unacceptable if they're asking for a fee. They're free tickets. It's a test event. We need people to turn up, and if those people have reserved tickets with the intention of not going and hoping to sell them, then that's embarrassing, and I hope the club can take action.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm joking because I've never known a game for us to go on the black market, and especially not a test event.
Well, there was one game where some scousers were outside trying to offer in stupid money to get in.
Some scouts? Did you say
Scousers.
Oh, you can't call them scousers. Can't, especially when we have one in our media team. He doesn't really like being called that, or they didn't mind that when they won the European Cup or the league. Did they win the league? They did win the league, didn't they?
I mean, sadly, they've won both.
No one remembers that because no one was there. The irony of it all, but yeah, Chris Lavin, bless him. Scouts, George, that's the official term for them. In all seriousness, I hope we're not doing that. I don't know how the club can stop that. Equally, George, you're right, you raise a good point in the fact that does that mean then that person doesn't turn up and we can't afford all that sort of side of it. I have seen Balham. I don't know who you are, but Balham's a big place. So how you Balham? Everybody, 4,000 fans are allowed for Saturday match. Are all three of you allowed to go? George, are you allowed out?
Yeah, somehow they're letting me out again. I'll be making another trip to Plough Lane. Looking forward to it. First time we'll be at Plough Lane without social distancing. We'll be able to make a lot of noise. Obviously, Coxey's returning for Scunthorpe in the dugout. Should be an interesting day.
Yeah, will be. Rob, you go?
Yeah, I've got my tickets for that game, Stu. It's my first time going Plough Lane, so I'm really excited. I was saying to George before, I've got tickets for the Woking game Tuesday
Yeah.
and the Scunthorpe game Saturday, but I've not gone to any pre-season friendly games. Every day it's just clashed with something I've been busy with. So this is the first time I've been for about 18 months a game of football because I didn't make the Bolton game, our last home game.
Yeah.
So it was whatever the home game before that was, which I can't remember off the head now. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Woking on Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to seeing Plough Lane on the Saturday. And yeah, I was quite fortunate that I got my tickets last week and didn't do what Sam did and put it off to this week.
But you know what? I don't think he'd be alone in that. And George and I were chatting because I don't mind eating humble pie. I just felt the game was a low-profile game, in all due respect to Scunthorpe and summer holidays and that. But George actually was raising a very good point in terms of there was a lot of volunteers that were distributing leaflets and talking to Wimbledon residents and tooting. I know it was funny. I saw Dave Chan was offered a leaflet outside Tooting Broadway, and when they said, "Are you a football fan?" which was hilarious. To be fair, he could have discussed on where to eat as well. Like Dan's been, yeah, he's been great. He's been great with that. I've really enjoyed his food diaries during the lockdown. But you raised a good point, George. It looks like that that sort of volunteer and that engagement has really kicked on, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's massive. That engagement in the local community, whether it's utilising the Plough Lane Bond volunteers or utilising BLAG volunteers and going out and just spreading the word about us returning to Plough Lane. Because it's not just for this game that we need people back. We want them back permanently. We want to attract these people from Wimbledon, Merton, Tooting. We want to get them into our ground every game, buying tickets, buying merchandise, and then attracting a whole new generation of fans because that will just make everything so much easier in terms of the future financing.
Definitely. Okay, well look, we're part of this for now because I've got Scunthorpe later, and I want to try and keep to my schedule. I can do it when I'm at work and I'm a team leader at work. I can do it for meetings, but I struggle with football and I start talking. I go everywhere. So I'm going to try and be disciplined today, George. New me.
Are we going to be talking about trees later in this show, or are we not bothering with that one this week?
When have we got Lincoln? I've not looked at when we got Lincoln. Like,
I think we've gone
can go.
first half of the season, I think.
If it's the winter, George, we're in trouble because the leaves would all be gone and it would just be literally like a skeleton of a tree. Is that what you could? Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Go with that. So, pre-season. Good question from Bella Han. Yeah, Rob, I'll give this to you because I know George won't give me a proper answer. Should we be concerned about the results of pre-season friendlies?
Probably asking the wrong person, Stu, because I've not been to any of the games, and so I can't really judge the performances. The only one I watched was the Brentford game on stream, and I thought we played well for them. Previous seasons, I remember we've had pre-seasons where we've won all our friendlies, and then started the league quite poor and not won a game for the first 6 or 7, and then we've had it on the flip side where we haven't done too well in pre-season, and we've actually started off the league quite well. So for me, I'm not too concerned. It's just it is all about the fitness and getting the minutes in the legs. I think the team we put out on Saturday, the starting 11, I'm surprised we didn't beat Dartford, being honest, but I'm not too concerned about pre. I'll be more concerned, 6 or 7 games into the league where we're at.
Yeah. Go on, George.
I'd just say.
Oh, we're losing George. That's unfortunate.
For that Brentford. We did play well. I think we did deserve something from that game. I thought we were excellent throughout. Then obviously the Met Police game was again mainly youngsters. We got a good draw there. Hampton and Richmond. It's slightly disjointed, but we were again quite young there. Certainly in the last 20, 25 minutes or so. And then Dartford, we kept chopping and changing. We tried 3 or 4 different formations throughout the game and then brought kids on at the end. In the first spell, which is the formation I think we'll be starting this season, which is the 4-2-2-2 box, which is what we were playing towards the end of last season on our running run. We were playing very, very well in that. And we created a lot of chances and were the better side. Then we played about 20 minutes in a 4-2-3-1 with Aaron Presley dropping into attack in midfield. Then in the second half, we moved to a 4-3-3. And then we brought kids on again for the final 25 minutes. So I think it is too early to judge anything into the performances, and especially too early to read anything into results. And again, like Boyce said, Tuesday night against Woking will be 90 minutes for half of the squad. The other half will get 90 minutes on Saturday against Scunthorpe. And even then, I think it's still too early. The real indications are going to be come Doncaster and come the first 10 games of the season.
Yeah, and we've done it differently. I mean, Robbo's opted for the extra week, so he got the extra week because he had that Richmond Park challenge. So I'm not too sure who won that in the end on that side of it, but he did want the extra week to get the fitness levels up, which, let's be fair, we were fit enough last year, but I think we're going to be super fit this season. It'll be interesting to chat to Chris McDonald at some point to see after the first couple of months what the data is, because I think...
Chris McConnell.
Same thing. Chris, we're just calling Chris. George, you've got to remember, I've got so many names to remember. It is unbelievable. Like, yeah, this is from a pre-season. Like, pre-season, you're trying to work out who everyone is. And I was at Hampton and Richmond on Friday, and I didn't realise that it was Luke McCormick that scored the goal, because I thought he'd gone off. And I was a bit confused, and I was like, crikey, that's a hit and a half. Who's that? That must be someone in the youth team. And it weren't. It was obviously our new signing who hit a scorcher into the top corner. But it'd be interesting to chat to Chris, wouldn't it, and just see what the figures are on that side. Yeah, the Brentford game, Rob, that was quite interesting. We had quite a bit of possession. Brentford, by all accounts, their first half team was closer to what they potentially may start their season with, but of course they're still signing players left, right and centre, aren't they? And I didn't actually know, I'm just going off topic here, I noticed they were playing Man United in a friendly this week, and West Ham were playing, I think they were playing West Ham as well in a friendly. Really disappointed me. They're playing on a Saturday, I think it's at the London Stadium, West Ham versus Brentford. Really annoyed me, because I think these clubs should be playing, well, one, no disrespect to Scunthorpe, why couldn't West Ham come to us? Don't need it now, to be fair. We probably have an easier win. But I'm a little bit disappointed that these teams, they haven't gone on their Australian tours and stuff, and Middle Eastern tours and Far East. They would go to the Far East for a tour at the moment. But it's disappointing, isn't it? They haven't. They should be coming. Well, they should be coming to us, Rob, shouldn't they?
Well, we've helped out the lower league, non-league teams ourselves, haven't we? By playing, Hampton, Richmond, Dartford, etc., etc. So it'd be nice if, they also done the same and, played League One and League Two teams, Man United, Liverpool, etc., etc. Also helped further down the football period, and everyone helped each other out. So, yeah, it was a bit disappointing. I've got a question for George. George, you said you went to the game on Saturday and there was 4 different formations played. Was that because it wasn't working, or was just trying different things?
It was. Well, we had 3 clear determined formations, and then kids playing at the end. And they all had sort of 20-minute blocks each, 25 minutes each. So it was just trying out different formations, trying players out in different sort of very slight variations of each position, and trying to work out what worked and what didn't. And like I said, on Saturday, the 4-2-2-2 box, which again is like what I said we played at the end of last season.
It's like a football manager, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Box, 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 box.
No, but we were very, very efficient in that, and I'd be surprised if that's not what we start with come Doncaster.
Yeah, and I think with the formation, I think we did it last season, but we were adaptable during games.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be something obviously that we're probably going to look at this. So I don't think it's just a case of just trying to. Just trying to formation for the sake of it. I think it's actually we're going to try and do that during games, which should be interesting to find out and work out who's playing where. Let's have a look. Zach, sorry for your question that George went on for ages. Fairly split into A and B squads, or just evenly split into 2 squads. So they were sort of like, I think the Hampton, Richmond and Dartford were picked purely for geographical reasons. There's that, you're out in the good old US of A. Let's be fair, like people living in Kent and stuff and people living in Surrey is a lot different to you living in different states where you are. We picked it really based on geographical, which sort of meant that probably the strongish sort of squad, George, was out at Dartford. Would that be right in saying?
I'd say slightly stronger. I mean, first of all, the two games on Tuesday night, they were split straight down the middle. It's both had 4 or 5 starters, 4 or 5 kids. Then on Friday and Saturday, I'd say the Saturday team was slightly stronger, but it was still fairly close. There were still several starters in each team. And again, I think that was probably, like you said, down to where players are based to make it easier for them, so they have to miss less training for recovery days and for match prep sessions.
Apologies at the moment. I've got loads of questions coming through. Like, I'm trying to keep up with George. I'm trying to multitask. I haven't got a chance of doing that. But there was loads of questions coming in. I've just seen one actually I really like, actually. Ballum. Again, I'm not too sure your name is, Ballum, but if you're speaking on behalf of the whole place, then well done. Rangers have beaten Real Madrid 2-1 in Scotland. Anywhere in Scotland? Apparently, that was Liverpool playing 2 Spanish teams in pre-season, so I'm guessing they went to. But then, to be fair, that's not really a big scalp, is it? Because Real Madrid and Barcelona are absolutely skint, aren't they?
Well, Barcelona especially. I think you look at what's happening there, and it's a clear example of why we need better financial controls and a fairer game. Not just in England, but across the whole
gave
of
George
Europe.
a chance, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, left an open goal there.
Take it, I'm afraid.
Oh my days! And in all fairness, George, Fair Game is doing really well, and the report by Tracy Crouch was really interesting. If you read that, that's a start. It's a start. I'm not going to get too excited, but it's a start. Rob, have you seen the stuff about Barcelona? By the way, they can't actually officially register Lionel Messi apparently at the moment.
I know, it's crazy. They've made all these new signings. I think even they can't. Williams the same with Aguero and Depay. I think they can't register them until they offload some of their players. I think Wolves signed their left back, and I think they're just trying to give out players left, right, and centre. Even earlier on Twitter, they cancelled somebody's contract without even really notifying them, and they found out on social media themselves. And they've they said it's just crazy what's going on over there at the moment.
But the problem is Barcelona overran their salary cap last season, and as a result, their salary cap this year is strongly enforced, and it's half of what it is last year. So they're trying to get all of their star players, like Messi's new contract will be on half the money it was on. They're trying to get all of their players to sign.
He's going to be struggling to get those tappers.
Right. It's going to be only on $300,000 a week. I don't know who could live on that, but it's all of their star players are going to have to take massive pay cuts, and they're offloading, like Boise said, left, right, and centre. I'm pretty sure if we rang up Barcelona and said we'll take someone for free, I'm pretty sure they'd send down a coach load of them.
It goes to show, though, doesn't it?
Buy a hospitality season ticket now, Boise.
It goes to show why they wanted, that Super League, isn't it?
Yeah.
Barcelona, Real Madrid, why they led it. I mean, it's really come to fruition and come to light now with all the goings on, why they were so keen. And they were two of the clubs which didn't quit even after the Premier League's pulled out. They still wanted to push out of it. And then, it's really beginning to show the reasons why.
I should say we lasted 20 minutes before going off on a massive tangent there, boys. I think we can be proud of ourselves there.
But that's the problem, isn't it? I found it amazing, like with the the pay cut and stuff like that. But also, when you look at the rumours, and they are rumours in the papers, obviously with a Premiership league, well, one who won the Premier League last year, it wasn't Liverpool. They're in trouble, aren't they? Again, but it shows you that the Spanish league really do. Because let's be fair, Barcelona and Real Madrid are their glamour clubs, aren't they? They don't want no one wants Barcelona not to be able to sign Messi, but they're sticking to their guns for now. Let's see on that. Let's go back on the subject. David Barney, damn, I'm late. Hello from Canada. Hello, Dave. Hope you're well on that side of it. So October is apparently. Let's just get this. Adam Hillman, thank you very much. October, Lincoln away. Trees are going to be gone, but the trees are going to be skeletons then.
I think all this does is guarantee we'll be in a lockdown for Lincoln because we'll miss it for about the 3rd, 4th year running, whatever it is.
Yeah, they have that siren, don't they? When they have corners, don't they? Like the air raid sirens.
Yeah.
Don't know.
At least it's different to a drum.
What are we going to have? Actually, saying that right. What are we going to have? Do you remember, Rob? George, you're too young. Rob, you went to Selhurst, didn't you?
Yeah.
For a bit. Do you remember on the scoreboard they used to do that thing where they were rubbing their hands together for a corner? Do you ever remember that?
I don't remember it. I only went to about half a dozen games at Selhurst. I was about 8 years old, Stu. So,
mate,
yeah, I probably wasn't paying attention.
It was hilarious. People, anyone of the older fans, they literally used to have a scoreboard, but I don't think it was a jumbotron. It was when it was. I always forget the double tiers down at Palace now. Used to be an open terrace, and there used to be a scoreboard right at the top. And they used to do this thing where it looked like they were just rubbing their hands together like this, like trying to keep warm. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I'm wondering what we're going to do, George. Like, we should have I think we should, and I know people are going to laugh at me and they're going to have a go at me, the older fans. But we should have music when we score. We shouldn't do Palace where they do own and everyone says goal, which is absolutely embarrassing. But in all seriousness, though, George, because you're younger. We need to do something. Should we do something like that? Because let's be fair, the families and the kids are ones that are going to really enjoy it.
Oh no, that's Tim Pot. All of those are Tim Pot. Playing music at goals, having drums. On that note, Dartford yesterday had a drum that was banging throughout the game for a pre-season friendly with 800 people there. And it's just embarrassing. Teams that have drums or play music at goals, It's just because their fans don't have any passion and can't make any noise. So I hope we stay away from all of that.
Rob, obviously you're getting a bit older now, Rob, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? But would you be up? Would you be up for that?
No, I'm not a fan of the music with goals. I'm a bit old school, Stu. You know, I prefer it the way it is. One thing I've never understood though, Stu, maybe you guys could educate me. Why is it every time we get a corner, everyone pulls their keys out and starts jangling them? I've never understood what that was all about. Like, that's got to go as well. When we go to Plough Lane, that's...
Do they
Can we stop that? Can we stop that?
Do they still do that? Because I sit in the posh seats now. Do you know what I mean? Like Kings Meadow, I'm sitting in the main stand, so...
It's not as prevalent as it used to be, but can you imagine 7,500 people shaking their keys when we get a corner? Our success rate's going to go up tenfold. Andy Parslow will be getting a huge bonus from the number of goals we'll get from corners.
Yeah, the keys thing. No, I think you're right. The keys thing. Sorry, Banham. Yeah, he's putting banter. Yeah, I'm trying not to do it, but it's pre-season. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the season, and especially Scunthorpe 4,000. Like, that's going to be the biggest crowd Scunthorpe are going to see all season, isn't it? Sorry, let's not be disrespectful to Scunthorpe. We're really pleased they're coming along.
I should say, based on my calculations, and I'm happy to be corrected, I believe it'll be the third most Wimbledon fans at a home game ever.
Oh, okay, I get you on that. That's quite sad, George, that you worked it out, but I get you on that.
Yeah, I know. I think that's all that tells you is I need to get a better life.
No, but
or we need more pre-season games. Robbo, if you're listening, pre-season games every other day next year, please.
Yeah. To be fair, George, I know somebody who counted the empty dots on the ticket machine when, you know, the season tickets went on sale. It wasn't you, George. I'm not going to say who it was because they won't believe me, but I do know somebody who counted the dots.
And I should say the only reason I didn't do that is because that person sent me the results to save all of us counting them.
But do you know what? And I'm going well, so I will come back on it. I promise you, right, Rob? But do you get? That's quite exciting, right? And the ticket machine. Sorry, it's like I've been down to British Rail. The ticket software, whatever we called it, where we get our ticketing application. Let's call it that. It's, for me, it's quite exciting that we've actually obviously evolved, haven't we? Because we, you know, let's be fair, Kings Meadow, you wouldn't see how many seats are available and stuff like that. But it is better, isn't it? That's a better experience, isn't it, for fans coming in? Because I know now, Rob, you're now officially a season ticket holder. Where are you sitting again? Because this is the problem I'm going to have, and I think a lot of people are going to have this. I have no idea where my mates are sitting, and that's probably good news for them as well. But whereabouts are you?
So as far as I know, I don't know for definite because I haven't really looked at the ground or been there. But I'm in the safe standing right at the back, along to the left of me, the staircase. So there'll be no one to the left of me. I'm just on the end behind the goal. So I think it'll be a really good atmosphere. I'm really looking forward to it. So probably amongst people like Lee Willett and amongst all them. So. Yeah, I'll be at the back.
So you're the southwest. You're the southwest corner, aren't you?
No, the south stand.
South, yeah.
Probably behind the goal.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, if you're saying you've got nothing to the left of you, then that means you've got the entrance, haven't you, in the southwest corner?
No, I think he needs just a walkway within the thing. I think he's directly behind the goal.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what Drew said. Sorry.
I was going to say you're near me then. If that's the case, I'm up in the balcony.
I'll give you a wave. I'll give you a wave, Stu.
Oh, no. To be fair, do you know what? For those of you who haven't been to Plough Lane, and I know you haven't been, Rob, but trust me, it's an amazing experience, and I mean that. Like, don't get me wrong, though. The biggest problem I've got is I took my son, didn't put any reins on him. I would say reins, basically stuff on his arms to stop him running off, and he ran off. And the problem is, there's so much room in that accessible seating area, which is great news, and they've really looked after the accessible seating. But he ran down the west end, just kept running, and he
I went to Plough Lane when they were building it, so when there was no pitch on there. And when I went there, I couldn't find Plough Lane because it's so hidden away. And then I'm down the other way, and it really amazed me how big that west stand is because obviously there was no seats there at the time, but just how big it was. When you go there, it really did amaze me how when you see it in person. So I think for anyone who hasn't been, it's going to be really spectacular, that stadium and that stand in particular.
Yeah, George, I know you'll come in, George, just very quickly. That was interesting, actually, because on Saturday, I left at half-time on Saturday because my son was just playing up. But we got lost, surprisingly. So we went around a roundabout, so we come back down past the ground. And I remember I looked over and I was sitting there thinking, if you were going past here and you weren't really you wouldn't guess there was you wouldn't guess there's a ground there. And it's like, you've got a 10,000 seater with a massive west end.